Ladies and gentlemen, racegoers from South Africa and all over the world, we wish you all a very warm welcome here on Race Preview Mauritius for another show where we'll be having a look at the race card for this coming Saturday. And we are going to be talking about the 34th meeting of the racing season. Next to me is none other than Devon Habib. Now he's your friend, and we are used to him and you are used to him too. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Devon Habib. Devon, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing, Abhijit?
I'm doing great, Devon. So I guess you're just doing fine too, looking at your smile.
Yeah, I'm very good today. Been a good week.
So you've been getting more used to Mauritian racing. The winners are coming fast and thick these days. Hope you can continue the good job.
Yeah, look, it's a lot of studying, a lot of work that's been put into this behind the scenes. I mean, we got to work every morning. So yeah, I think the hard work's paying off now, and let's hope it continues.
Yes, we'll
lot of
hope
luck
so
on our side.
for you too. Devon, before we get into racing proper, the People's Turf this week will be celebrating together with racing football. We all know that the FIFA World Cup is going to start on Sunday, 20th of November. And it's going to be the 22nd edition of the competition. The host country is going to be Qatar, and we've seen on the deco too on TV, we can see the different flags of the participating countries. Are you going to be following that competition too?
Yes, it's always been a good program to watch, and yeah, I'm a big soccer fan, so I'm going to be following that definitely.
So you'd be in front of your TV to watch the opening ceremony on Sunday?
Most definitely. I do enjoy the World Cup, and it's I'm probably going to try watch every single game that I possibly can. So I even like watching the games that aren't common, but yeah, it's really exciting.
And the first match, Qatar versus Ecuador?
Look, it will be nice for the home team to win, but I think it's going to be quite tough for them. I mean, they've got a tough component, but yeah, I don't know.
Any preference, any favorite for you to win the cup?
I'm a big fan of one player and one player only. I'm a Ronaldo fan, so I've got to
You're
support
going to
Portugal. But I'm supporting Ronaldo, let's put it that way. Supporting Ronaldo.
So we'll keep fingers crossed for you and for Ronaldo, who's
Yeah.
been creating quite a lot of hype and noise around him lately with that now infamous interview which he gave.
Yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment, and he's in the limelight. So maybe that's just a prediction that he's going to win the World Cup. He deserves it. I mean, he's a player that deserves to win it, in my opinion.
Well, we're going to see whether he will be able to. We'll get back to what we're here for, that is racing. Like we said, the 34th meeting of the season and the People's Turf PLC. This week we had pretty awesome weather. It was really nice and warm. We've had some rain during the week, which was quite beneficial for the track, even though we are going to have false race at 3.75 meters throughout the track, which is an element we have to take into consideration when doing our homework.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, the good draws definitely come into account now, as you don't want to be caught too wide going into the turns. So I feel like the track's in an okay condition at the moment. The rain's definitely helped, and we needed it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to good racing come race day.
Well, let's have a look at the first race of that coming race day, the Haya Haya Official World Cup 2022 Song Trophy, going to be run over 1,365 meters. For horses in a rating of 0 to 15, you can see the runners on your screen, and namely number 1, Artax with Jose Da Silva, number 2, Crushing Force with Nabil Sheikh Bachamian, number 3, Special Force with Swapnil Rama, number 4, Northern Rebel with Sunil Bandhu, and number 5, Slightly Scottish with jockey Rush Passing. So what would be your selection of 3 here?
Look, I'm quite big on this horse Crushing Force. I feel like
You want to crush them all?
yeah, I feel like he's going to crash this field, and then Special Force to run second, and Artax to run third.
So it's number 2, number 3, and number 1.
Yep.
So what makes you think that Crushing Force is going to be a real force in this
Look,
one?
back in distance is a key factor here. Dropping in the distance to 1365. He's in a good space. He's working well. I mean, as you can see on the TV now, he's working really well. And I think this horse is in a space now that he's ready to win, and I think the draw's a vital key. He's got draw 3, he's got claim 3 on his back, the drop in distance. There's a lot in this horse's factor, so I'm in the camp of Crushing Force quite strongly. And yeah, for second, look, Special Force, he had an injury, and he's overcoming that injury, and his previous run wasn't too bad, 4 lengths behind Badawi. Nice comeback run. So I feel like if he doesn't need this run, he'll definitely probably win this race quite easily. But because of the second run, I'm tipping him to run second. Maybe he might just need one more run. And for third, Artax, look, he won his last start. And he's also in a good space. He's working well, but the negative factor is the drop in distance. I don't really think he's going to suit the 1365. He hasn't run too well over 1365. I mean, he ran 5.5 lengths behind Midnight Messenger. So I'm not really a big fan of him in this race, even though he's the favourite with a good draw. I'm quite big on Crushing Force, on the Force squared combination, yeah.
A small word rapidly on Northern Rebel and Slightly Scottish.
For me, look, Northern Rebel, he's not in, I don't know, he's not in a good space at the moment. His last 2 runs haven't been too good. But he could bounce back. He's got a low rating of 2. So maybe he can do something. It looks slightly Scottish. I've got to maybe tip this horse to run 4th, because I've got a bit of Scottish inside me. So I'm a slightly Scottish, I guess. But he might just, there might be a bit of a challenge for him to lead. And if he leads in change of tactics, I mean, the last time he led, he won. So if he can get to the front without forcing it, he might just do something. And, you know, you can't write him off too much.
Nonetheless, you're going to stick with number 2, Crushing Force, in front of number 3, Special Force, and number 1, Artax.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's move on to the second race of the day, the Gilles Rimet World Souvenir Cup, 1,365 meters, again benchmark 41, where we have 5 runners, namely number 1, Illicit Kiss with Andre Louis da Silva, number 2, Desert Boy with Jami Ali Hussein, and number 3, Tiger's Rock with Rashpa Singh, and number 4, Kufulyut with Rai Rawan, and number 5, Ticket to Cairo with Swapnil Rama. So your choices here, I guess it's going to start with Illicit Kiss.
No, 100%. You can put 7 stars next to this horse now. I mean, he went from a 4-star to a 7-star in a matter of what, weeks, I guess. Yeah, I don't think nothing's gonna beat this horse. Like, this horse will, once again, jockey's gonna sit, pose, take photos, and he's a celebrity already. So I guess he's gonna just pose. I don't think he'll move. The question mark is how far.
Exactly.
How far?
So number 4 here, Kufulyut from the yards of Raj Ramdin, drawn free. He will be carrying 56 kgs, which is 5 kilos less than Illicit Kiss.
I like Kufulyut quite a bit. I mean, his work was really good this week, and he's in a good space. I think the tongue tie on this horse might be the key factor here, and I like him. I like him quite a bit. He's in a good space and he's a decent price. So I think he's a horse that you have to factor in for second. And Desert Boy, we can't write him off. I mean, he's run really good races this season, and he's in a good space. So I guess Desert Boy will definitely be one to question in, to put into the placings.
We are looking at the last race of Illicit Kiss here. He's going to jump, he jumped from barrier 2 and will hit the lead quite easily here.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to do much. This horse hasn't come under pressure once.
And Kufulyut was in that same race too.
Yeah,
and I don't... next to him on the outside.
Sitting second, yeah, with the yellow and white with the blue crossover there. I just think this horse is in a different division. I feel like he's all set's going to go straight to the top. The minute he comes under pressure, that's when we're going to see if he's good enough to handle the pressure. But I don't think he's even been asked the question once. He's still in first gear.
When you look at this race, Devon, it's true he went easily to the lead. He was not challenged much, but as from the 600 meters, Kufulut was giving him some task.
Yes, 100%. I mean, Kubfalut, maybe the tongue tie is what he needs. So I can't say he can beat him, but he's going to run a better race than what he did this time. I mean, look at the jockey.
But here you see he's just like cruising, and the jockey's playing with them, counting the strides, and he's cantering right here.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the cameraman to take the photos. Different pose every stride, I guess. doesn't have to move on this horse. So I guess once this horse starts getting pressured, we can see how good he really is. But I mean, his form says it all. His wins said it all. So I can't see anything beating this horse.
We have one new stable last from this week in Nawaz Rawat stable, who's starting, and he's going to have his first runner here in this second race. Desert Boy number 2, Drone 1 with Jamie Ali Hussain, 60.5 kgs. This stable can start with a bang.
Yeah, look, it's nice to have the new stable, and we wish him all the best for the new season and for the season, the end of the season. He's a nice horse, very nice horse. Can't fault his form. Maybe something went wrong when he ran 5th to Captain Mark, but he justified that, and he came back and he said, "Here's my revenge," and he came and beat him. He made 4 lengths improvement on the horse, and yeah, look, I guess he's one to factor in. I don't know if he can beat Illicit Kiss on the way he's been winning, but definitely a horse that you have to factor in.
The distance, Devon, he's won here no less than 4 races, 3 of which were 990. He only won once over 1,365, which was his second run here in Mauritius, was last year, July of last year. Ever since, he hasn't been tried over distance, except for that one run where he was beaten by Massimo Fair and Square.
And that was probably one of his best wins. I mean, he won by 3.5 lengths, beaten Follow Suit. So I don't know how the form's held up with that. It was quite a while
but Follow Suit was like nothing extraordinary since.
Yeah, but I mean, still, he won quite easily. Second run, normally they don't do such things. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely also that you have to consider the draw, maybe the step up and the draws in his favour, the step up in distance. I'm also in the camp of this horse, but I don't know if he can beat Illicit Kiss. For me, it's going to be a one-horse race, and then the race is on for 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
Number 3, Tigers Rock.
Look, he has to do a lot more to improve on Illicit Kiss's form, but once again, he's in front of Coupe Volute on this run. I just feel like Coupe Volute's gonna make the improvement that he needed to, and yeah, I think for me, I can't see it winning. It's the biggest outside in the race. I can't see it running into the first 4 either. I'm not on this horse at the moment.
What about Ticket to Cairo number 5? Drone number 2 will be only carrying 54.5 kgs.
Yeah, look, Ticket to Cairo, I don't know, is it strong enough to make this this field panic? For me, no, but his runs aren't bad. I mean, his last run was a very good run to King of Colts, which is a nice horse. So I think he can run into probably the back end, maybe 3rd, 4th, but yeah, it's going to be quite hard for him to win.
So your selections here would be 1, 4 and 2?
1, 4, 2 in that order.
So Illicit Kiss, Kufulut and Desert Boy. We'll move on to the next race, which is race number 3 on the card, the IOIG 1985 Glorious Club M Souvenir Cup, 1,500 meters, benchmark 31 with 6 runners. Number 1 is Flowerscape with Jamie Ali Hussain. Number 2, Jakalak with Bernard Fedeb. Number 3, Believe in the Future with André Louis da Silva. Number 4, Bellagio King with Jeannot Bardetier. Number 5, Lockdown with Girish Goumani. And number 6, Unbelievable Lad. We'll have José da Silva on board. What would be your selections here, Devon?
Well, that's probably one of the toughest cards on the day. I mean, toughest race on the day. So I'm going to go with number 2 to win, number 5 to run 2nd, number 3 to run 3rd, and the 1 to run 4th.
2, 5, 3 and 1 are your choices. Let's move on to the analysis with number 2 Jakalak, 61 kgs on the back, drone number 6. He was a last time winner where he beat Into the Mystique.
Yeah, that form line's quite strong. As you can see, he's working really well, and I was very impressed by his win last time. And his penultimate start when he ran a length and a half to Mauritius, That was also quite impressive. But as you can see, he's working really well. He's looking good. I think this is probably the one to take it. He's got a good jockey up, Bernard Fedorb. Stable's in good form. I think, I think this is one that should win. It's going to be a very tough race. It's very, very difficult. I've changed my selection 3 times in this race, but I'm putting my neck out and I'm going with Jackalak.
If there's one horse that I particularly like here is number 3, Believe in the Future from the yards of Cher Merchant. With Andre Louis da Silva on board, 60 kg on the back, will jump from number 5. His first race was a fair debut, slightly disappointing last time out where he finished 7.65 lengths behind Talisman, but Talisman won quite impressively on that occasion.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the horses that come to Mauritius and their second runs. I'm not a big fan of that second run. I actually don't like the second run, so I would even put a line through that second run and look at his previous form before that, and then now this is his third run, peak run. This horse is one that we have to definitely look out for. Huge runner. He's run to second base in South Africa. He ran 2.5 or 2.75 lengths to second base, third. That's more than enough to win this race, hands and heels, same way Lysikis does. But is he back to himself? I think so. I think this horse is in a good space. I do like this horse. Definitely one to factor in. I don't know if he's going to win it, but I mean, like I said, it's a very tough race. So I'm going to put this horse for third.
And in second place, you've put horse number 5, Lockdown from the yard of Ricky Mangard. Will jump from number 1, 60 kgs on the back with Girish Gumani.
Yeah, Lockdown's the favourite in the race. Definitely putting him for second. He's got a good draw and he's in a good space. He's running really well. His last 4 runs have been phenomenal. So his runs this season have been really good. And yeah, I like his horse to run into the money. Run second, could win it, but like I said, very tough race. I just don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm sure Jackalak will be taking the cake here.
Number 1, Flowerscape with Jamie Ali Hussain.
I like Flowerscape. He's got the jockey strike now, so I think he's a big runner, leading jockey at the moment in Mauritius, or leading Mauritian jockey, Jamil Hussain on it. So I do like him, but very difficult race once again. There's too many horses with almost the same rating, same form. Very hard to single out one, but he could run into the back end of quartet, in my opinion. So
you'd stick with number 2, number 5, number 3, and number 1.
That's correct.
Let's move on to race number 4, the IOIG 2003 Glorious Club M Souvenir Cup, which is going to be run over 1,600 meters, benchmark 46 with 7 runners. Number 1 here is Duke's Domain, number 2 is Haiki, number 3 is Puget Sound, number 4 Pop Icon, number 6 Jetstream, number 5 Jetstream, sorry, number 6 Royal Italian, and number 7 Partner in Crime. Probably if our technician could just move the table slightly higher so that we can see the 7th runner. So in the meantime, Devon, what will be your selections?
Yeah, look, I'd like to talk about the new trainer as well in this race. There's a new South African trainer.
South African?
Dominic Zaki.
Whom you know probably.
Yeah, he was my dad's boss for many, many years.
Yes.
And he's family of mine, actually. I'm slightly related to him, so it's my mom's cousin.
So we are going to get some good tips.
Let's hope so, and let's wish him all the best for his season ahead. And I like his horse here to win. It's not because because of family. I just feel like this horse is in a good space. He's working really well, and there's equipment changes.
Would be quite a feast if he starts up with his first runner, first winner.
That would be phenomenal for him. I mean, let's hope for his sake, and I mean for South African connections being in Mauritius, it's a nice door to be opened, and I think this horse has a major chance. It's back over further. It's got the draw one. Equipment's changed. So I think a change is as good as a holiday, and a new stable. I think this is going to be the factor for this horse to come back to his winning ways. This is definitely my first selection in the race.
And behind him?
For second, I like Partner in Crime. Definitely the horse that they all have to beat. The favourite in the race, the one with the talking form. He's in a good space. His last run wasn't the best run, a bit disappointing, but there could be excuses. So I think we can maybe give him a second chance, and let's see how he goes. And for third, I've got a little fancier for this horse, Haki, number 2. I think he's in a good space. He's working really well, and his form's not too bad either. I mean, 4th, 6th, 1st, 3rd, 1st, 5th, 1st. I feel like he likes to go in like a pattern, you know. So this could be the time where he runs a good race. Let's see how it goes. It's a very tough race once again, but yeah, big on Pop Icon in this race.
So 4, 7, 2, 1, you've given us quite some explanations. Coming to number 2, Haiki in this one with Jami Al Hussein on board, 61 kgs on the back, number 5. We know from what we've seen so far, this is a horse that is that tends to lose a lot of weight after each of his races. So probably we'll have to keep an eye on that when come race day, whether he's lost more weight after that last run, which was not far back, which was on the 30th of October. We are talking about Haiki.
Yeah, I think, look, he's working well and he's looking good. So I think that's not too much of a factor for me. I think this horse, he's in a good space. So I do like him. I hope he takes his run well and his previous runs well, and I'm sure he's going to do well. I think he's a nice runner for the day.
So Pop Icon would be going on 1,600 probably for the first time here.
Yes, definitely. First time. There's a lot of changes to this horse. I mean, Tang Ta, first time over 1,600, new stable, and a new jockey riding him. So all these changes could benefit him, and maybe they could bring out the best form in him, and let's hope, because that's my first selection. So and at a good price as well. I think he's 550, 600 on the betting site. So yeah, I like him. He's been treated with the 2 treatments that he's done there, and I think he's also has to be factored in.
Number 7, Partner in Crime with Girish Gumani, drawn number 3, 58.5 kgs on the back. After winning 2 in a row, he was beaten last time. He started like weakening in the last 300 meters, but probably due to the fact that he went a little bit too quick in front.
Yeah, look, the time factors were very high there. So he was going really quick in the beginning, in the early stages, and possibly what brought the petrol tank to a low, you know. So I think if they could hold him up here, I think he might just get an easy lead once again in this race. I don't know if there's too much pressure. I don't think so. He could be there for free and possibly steal the race. Yeah, could be the partner in crime. I'm not sure what you can say about him, but I think he's got a chance. He has to be in front to win, you know, in my opinion.
So you've talked about number 2, you've also talked about number 4, number 7. We can't ignore completely number 1, Jukes Domin here.
Yeah, he's got really good form, but I don't know if he might need one more run after this, you know. So I just think he needs to prove to me that he's ready, because it is his peak run. But I don't know. I'm a bit scared of his form. His last 2 runs haven't been impressive. I think he has to show me a bit more, but I have tipped him to run into the back end of quartets, because I feel like he's a horse that could show up, you know.
Jetstream has been working pretty well lately. He seems to be on the up. Looking at him, we get the impression that he's a horse that runs well fresh and who's enjoying the warmer days.
Yeah, his form's not the worst form. I mean, I've seen much worse than that. So he is a horse that you have to consider. I just think maybe watch betting come race day and see how the betting goes. But I think he's going to have to do a lot more to beat this field. That's the horses that I've selected for my first 4.
So number 4, number 7, number 2 and number 1 are going to be your choices here.
That's correct.
Let's move on to race 5, the People's Turf PLC World Football Mania Cup, 1,365 meters. Benchmark 56 with 6 runners. Number 1 is Master of Illusion, number 2 Gunstone, number 3 Culture Trip, number 4 Justine, number 5 Carbon Fiber, and number 6 Creation. So what would be your choices here?
I'm going to tip quite an outsider in this race, and I'm going for number 4 to win, Hastings. For second, I like number 1, Master of Illusion. Third, Culture Trip, and then for fourth, a little bit of Gangston.
So 4, 1, 3 and 2. Let's
Yeah.
move on to the analysis with number 1, Master of Illusion, from the yards of Simon Jones, with Jeannot Baudetier on board, 60.5 kgs on the back. We'll break from number 3.
Yeah, I like this horse. He's working well. As you can see, he's in a really good space. I feel like if this horse has a soft lead up in front, they're going to be running to catch him because they're going to be hard to peg back. He's a horse that's running well. I mean, second to Emblem of Hope, 0.60. Behind Emerald Band, FD. He's running against really good horses. And I think this is one that we have to consider. He's not my first choice, he's my second choice, but if Hastings doesn't suit the track and the running, he'll definitely be there to fill his place.
So number 2 here is Gunstone from Chamerchand, Andre Louis da Silva on board, 60 kgs, drawn number 4.
Yeah, this is a really quick horse. Hence why I'm a bit worried about Master of Illusion getting to the front. This horse is going to be challenging for the lead because I think that's the only way he can run. And yeah, I think this is one that we have to consider. But the problem is that there's going to be so much fighting for the lead in this race. I think he might just tire out. 1365 might be a bit, I don't know if it's short for him or if it's far for him, because when he runs over 1600, he runs a good race. When he runs over 990, he runs a good race. But then 1365, he didn't run the best race. So I don't know if the distance is down his alley. I think maybe he needs either further or short. I'm not sure. I can't analyze that form for me.
So number 3, Culture Trip, with Robbie Bicari on board, drawn number 1, which is going to be quite an advantage.
Yeah, the draw is a major factor, yeah. I just think this horse is probably almost ready to win, if not run into the back end of quartet. So hence I've put him for third. He's in a good space. His form's getting better and better. And I think he'll obviously run a decent race, but is 1365 the right distance for him? I might be a bit too short for him. I think he likes a little bit further, in my opinion. For me, I'm big on Hastings. I think this is a horse that we have to definitely open our eyes and look at this form. Let's go back 2 years. 1365, Derek David wins with Derek on it, wins by length. 1365, Derek wins by half a length. 1365, Rama runs third, 2 lengths to RMs. 1365, 2 lengths to Emerald Band. Every time he's run over 1365, he's run really good races. Now 1365, I think this horse is in the right space, got claim 3 up. I think they're going to have to run to catch him. He's working extremely well, and yeah, I'm big on this horse. He's a huge price. I think he's 13, 14 to 1. I think this horse will definitely motor it down and win this race. In my opinion, this is my value bet for the day.
So number 4, number 1, number 3 and number 2 are your selections here. The main event of the weekend is the People's Turf PLC 2022 Football World Cup. Will be run over 1,600 meters, benchmark 66, with 5 runners, namely number 1 Yope Sumain with apprentice Alvinho Roy on board, number 2 Arizona Silk with Abhishek Sonaram, number 3 Trapeze Express with Andre Louis da Silva, number 4 Special Blend with Bernard Fedeb, and number 5 Stop All the Clocks with Mauritian jockey Swapnil Rama on board. So we'd ask you for a selection of 3 here.
Yeah, I'm big in the camp of Special Blend for first. Second, number 5 Stop All the Clocks. Third, Your Pace Oman.
So 4, 5 and 1. Let's move on to the analysis with number 1 Your Pace Oman, drawn number 1, Alvinho Roy will be only carrying 58 kgs.
Yeah, look, definitely the horse that they all have to beat. He's the foremost in the race, the favourite. Got the draw, got the claim. But is he beating horses like Walls of Dubrovnik? I don't think so. He's run 2 bad races to Walls of Dubrovnik, where Special Blend ran a length behind Walls of Dubrovnik. I think he's good enough to win this race, but I don't know if he's going to be able to beat Special Blend today. I just think he's in a good space. All the factors are there for him, so I understand why he's favoured, but I can't have him for first.
Number 5, Stop All the Clocks.
I like number 5 to run second. His last run to Emblem of Hope was very impressive. He's in a good space. And yeah, I think I like it when a horse runs good races and then improves. He has, in this race, we got the race on the show now.
That's Stop All the Clocks, who's last here.
And Emblem of Hope's in front.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I mean, Stop All the Clocks doesn't have much pace, but he's definitely one that runs on at the end. And he's stepping up in distance now. So I think the step up in distance might be a key factor for him to improve. And I don't know if he can beat Special Blend, but I mean, his run last time was impressive. So he's one that's going to give cheek to the favourite, or to the, yeah, I think he's second favourite at the moment.
Probably one of the races that we have to consider is his, he finished sixth behind Undercover Agent, who's won multiple Group 1s here, and he was only 2.9 length behind him over 1,400 meters. And then another very good race where he was second from Hubble, who's another good horse.
Yeah, very decent horse. And I mean, you can see he's making up the ground, even though the jockey's not doing much in front, yeah. But he's still making up the ground, and someone had to run second, but he had to beat those horses. So I think, like you said, the runs to Undercover Agent, the runs to Hubble, those are eye-catching runs. I feel like he steps his game up when he runs against bigger horses. So yeah, I think this is one that we have to consider for the second or third position.
And your selection for the win here is number 4, Special Blend, with Devon Habib, drawn number 4, will carry 58 kgs.
Yeah, this horse is ready to win. I saw him on Monday. He's in a really, really good space. I've never seen a horse look so good. And I think, yeah, I mean, he's run to Walls of Dubrovnik, very impressive. I know your pace for mine got him beat on his last run, but I think he's ready now. I think this is his time to take it. Good draw. Yeah, I'm big on this horse, Special Blend.
Another horse who's been working really well lately is number 3, Trippies Express, Angelo da Silva, 59 kgs. Will break from number 3. He was not bad at all last time out, over 1365. Probably the distance is a bit of a question mark, but horse changed lately, and he's knocking at the door, you can't deny that.
Yeah, and his form's really good. Frosted Gold, Padre Paya, Emerald Band, these aren't bad horses, these are grade 1 horses. Is this a grade 1 field? Probably. These horses could be in grade 1s, but it's not the strongest field of grade 1 horses. I mean, I think Trippy, they can do 1600. I mean, there's horses in South Africa that are champion mile horses like Jet Dark. And so I think, yeah, this horse is a massive runner. We've got to consider him. And yeah, he's got a lot of potential in this race. I think he can run into the back end of quartet.
So number 4, number 5, and number 1 are going to be your choices here.
Yeah.
The 7th race on the card, the 12th South Africa World Souvenir Cup, 1,650 meters, rating 0.26. We have 9 runners. Number 1 is Smuts, number 2 De La Vista, number 3 Gun Traveling, number 4 Heart of Darkness, number 5 Perfect Pursuit, number 6 Digital Footrest, number 7 Poetic License, number 8 Seoul, and number 9 Supreme Elevation. Your choices here, Devon?
I'm going to go 2, 3, 4, 9.
2, 3, 4, and 9. So De La Vista is number 2 here from the yards of Ricky Mangard. Girish Gumani on board, 60.5 kgs. Will break from number 7. He was winner on his first outing here, which was his only second run of his career.
Yeah.
Last time he was not disgraced, but the ride of the jockey was slightly questionable, and given the right circumstances, this horse can be winning this one easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this probably a big bet for me, like a good bet in this race. Let's put it that way, at a big price. Like I said to you, the second run after moving to Mauritius, I don't like. So I'm gonna put a line through his last run. I think this horse is peak ready. He's in a good space. I don't see much beating this horse today. I think he's an improving horse, and he's going to go through the divisions, step up in distance. I think they're going to have to run to beat this horse. It's going to be very hard to beat him.
Number 3, Gun Travelling from the yard of Raj Ramdin. We'll have Swapnil Rama on board, 60.5 kgs, drawn number 2. If we are tipping Jakalak to win his race, then we have to consider his chances here.
Yes, 100%. But I feel like there's not much between the two horses, 3 and 4. Like, it's very hard to separate them. They've got pretty much similar form. And yeah, I do like him for second. He's been knocking at the door, both of them. So, like, I don't know. It's going to be difficult to separate the two horses. So I'm going to stick my neck out and say the 3 to run third, but to run second. But yeah, his form's decent. His last 3 runs have been good, and he ran behind Jakalak. It was a decent race that day. So I think this is one we have to consider.
Number 4, Heart of Darkness with Shirish from the yard of Shirish Narang. We'll have Alvino Roy on board, 58.5 kgs on the back. Drawn number 4, the horse, despite his 10 years, has been pretty competitive this year.
Yeah, also one that's been knocking at the door. Very, very consistent horse. We would love to own a horse like this. He's like an ATM. Every time he runs, he earns something, you know. So he's one that you have to consider. I mean, his form behind Duodare, 3 lengths, the collateral form line with Gone Travelling, with Duodare. There's not much between them. 0.40, same weight, but now he's got claim 2. So that day he had claim 4. I think it's very competitive between the two horses. Very hard to separate them. But I'm tipping him to run third.
So number 9 here, Supreme Elevation from the yard of Nawaz Rawat, the new stable. Raj Roman on board, 57.5 kgs, drawn number 5.
Yeah, look, he's got some nice runners on the day, and I think it will be nice for him to open up his account. And I don't know if he can win with this one. He might be able to win with 1 or 2 on the day, but I mean, maybe beginner's luck, as they say. Not to say he's a beginning trainer, but his first meeting could be in his favour. Close up second last time to Bell's Apostle, so I mean that form's quite strong. Bell's is doing quite well, and I like him to run fourth.
So 2, 3, 4 and 9 are your choices. Yeah. Let's get to the final race of the day, the Sydney Pecan Mexico 1986 World Souvenir Cup, 1450 meters, benchmark 36. We have 8 runners here. Number 1 is Crimson God, number 2 Volatile Energy, number 3 Good Birdie, number 4 Straight, number 5 Well Connected, number 6 King of Colts, number 7 Now Fazmal, and number 8 Arnhem Land. Your choices here?
I'm looking straight, and I'm going with all straight. Yeah, this is my best bet on the card at a big price. I'm labelling this horse. I think 1 horse race, in my opinion.
So behind him?
To run second, number 6 King of Colts, third the 8 Arnhem Land, and then fourth the 2 Volatile Energy at a big price as well.
So 4, 6, 8, 2. We can see here Straight and Ticket to Cairo on their workout. Yeah,
I mean, Straight's looking really well. I think take Illicit Kiss out the race. He wins last time. And I mean, he only got 2 points. So that's basically a win without a penalty. And this horse is in a good space. He's really running well. Massive run behind Illicit Kiss. He was making a big run. Even though the jockey on Illicit Kiss didn't move, something had to run second. And he won that race besides Illicit Kiss, you know. So I'm big on this horse. I think Illicit Kiss is a very, very good horse in Mauritius, top division horse. So if I'm putting him in the same race as Straight, I think if Illicit Kiss was in this race, would make him 1 to 20. So he's got to be a factor. I'm massive on this horse.
King of Colts from the yards of Shamar Chan opened his account last time, beating Instinctive Power.
Yeah, very good run, because like I said, I didn't like the second run syndrome that they have, and he won on his second run. So he's a horse that you have to consider. He's probably a very good horse that's going to improve over the seasons, and he's probably going to do really well. But I don't know if the race is maybe coming too quick for him. I think he could run a good race, but I'm tipping him to run second. He's a nice horse, very nice horse.
In third, you've put number 8 Arnhem Land.
Yeah, I do like him also. Nice horse, but he's run for 3 times a season already. Now it's his 4th run. I think he's in a good space. He is the favourite, so he's got to be the danger. I don't know if he's going to win this race, but I'm not tipping him to win. He has a year working, he's working really well. And yeah, it's going to be tough to separate the two of them, King of Colt and Arnhem, but we can see where they go and where they're going to go in the future, because they look like nice up-and-coming horses. It's got good SA form, really good SA form.
And to complete your selections, you've added Volatile Energy. We'll have in your Royal board.
Yeah, look, I might be looking at it wrong, but I feel like if you take his last run away, where he ran a really bad race, his form is really, really good. And over 1450, I don't think the distance is much of a problem. I think this horse is a value bet at what, 20 to 1 is a good price. I think he's a runner for the back end of quartets. I don't know, maybe the step up in divisions is the factor why he's such a big price, but his form's decent. There's nothing wrong with his form.
So your choices here: number 4 Straight, number 6 King of Colts, number 8 Arnhem Land, and number 2 Volatile Energy here. So we've gone over the 8 races on the card of this Saturday. Devon, we have only left for you to tell us what would be your banker or your bankers of the day.
My banker on the day is, there's 2 bankers. Let's put Illicit Kiss as the main one, and then Straight would be my best bet. Really good price. And my value bet on the day comes in, I think it was race 3. I'm just making sure the race it was in. No, it's race 5. Hastings. He's a really big price, and I think there's value to be made from that horse.
So the bankers are going to be Illicit Kiss and Straight, and the outsider for Devon this week is going to be Justine. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this show. Devon, thank you so much for being on board once again and to help us read the card in the form of the horses.
Yes, it's only a pleasure, and thank you very much as well. Yeah, it's been a good few months here, and let's continue the good streak and hit them hard, eh?
Well, thank you, Devon. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this show. We also would like to thank, before going away, our technicians who've been behind the production and the broadcast of the program. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, you take great care. Bye-bye.